This week, we are back and we are talking budgets, how much an average wedding costs and all of the things that you might need to pay for.
We'll also be talking about how much your guests should be spending on your wedding gift.
And share some of the fabulous lessons that we learned through our weddings, including a very angry limo driver.
All loved up and ready to propose? Or maybe you're searching for the perfect wedding ring. My Jewellery Shop are your engagement and wedding ring experts. At My Jewellery Shop, it's your time to shine. Gold Coast Highway, Nobby Beach, and myjewelleryshop.com.au. Moira Major and Nikki Amos.
We pronounce you unfiltered. Welcome to the second episode of We Pronounce You. Hello, Nikki.
Hello, Moisey.
How are we going?
Fabulous. And yourself?
Very well, thank you.
Excellent.
Very excited to get into some nitty-gritty today of weddings. And, of course, you being a registered celebrant, me well and truly on my way, just waiting for the Attorney General to sign me off at the moment.
Taking his sweet time.
Won't we have a party when that actually happens?
We absolutely will.
But you and I have been to a number of weddings. You've been married a couple of times. I've been married. We've obviously been officials at a number of weddings. I've emceed them as well. Have you do you MC weddings as well?
I haven't emceed a wedding yet.
Okay, that's another whole different thing, isn't it?
100%, yes.
Yep. Speeches, all that kind of jazz. That's something else that we will touch on in a further podcast. But today we're talking budgets.
Yes.
So
Scary.
typical wedding, how much would a typical wedding, we're talking average, not too excessive, not like a Kardashian wedding, not like a pauper wedding by a tree, right in the middle.
I was surprised to find that the average is around $35,000. That's a lot of coin.
That is a lot of coin. And that is one day.
That's one day.
One day.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff you will never use again.
Absolutely.
Or it's one use and then that's it.
Yes.
Okay, so the highest spending couples, it's endless.
Oh, 100%.
The budget can be endless if you have an endless budget.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is it.
Wouldn't that be nice? Funny.
Indeed. No, I can only imagine. I mean, imagine a Kardashian wedding spend.
Oh, my gosh. And just all the little tiny details as well. I mean, most of it would be sponsored, I'd have to think.
Oh, for sure.
Lucky ducks.
Yeah.
But, you know, for us normal folk who don't break the internet with our bottoms, you know, I reckon you're looking around at that 35, 40 grand mark.
Yeah, 100%.
So there are actually a number of things that you definitely need to have, obviously, for it. We've discussed this in the past episode. You can get married in 5 minutes.
Yes.
With a celebrant, with paperwork done the month before, or a shortening of time if there is an issue with family or, you know, a legitimate reason why you want to shorten the time. But you can actually get married in 5 minutes in your backyard with Nana's pumpkin scones as your reception.
Look, I actually just went to a wedding on the weekend and it was exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was a couple?
So a really good friend of mine, Sam, and her wonderful now husband, Steve.
Yep.
And they did it in their backyard. I wasn't officiating because he is religious and he had his pastor do it.
Beautiful.
But they had dressed up their home beautifully.
Yep.
They had some drinks there, and then we went to the Hound and Stag, where they where everyone actually purchased their own food and beverage at a discounted price because he worked there. It was actually very generous. They did a 50% off, which was great.
Nice, yeah.
But so just to show you how you can do
You can do it. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. It doesn't have to be this, you know, massive expense.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't have to be, like you said, you know, you can actually ask your guests to pay for their meals. I mean, did you have to bring a gift then? Did they say that? Or
No,
what
they
was
said no gifts.
Because
because of that factor. They just wanted everyone to be there.
Yeah.
And that was, so of course people do bring gifts, but they did not have to. No.
So the tradition with the gift is basically you're supposed to think of how much money
they spend.
Spend on you that day. That should be the value of your present.
Absolutely.
So, you know, if you're a stingy person and think that the whole thing costs you $20 per person, I think again when you're looking at that wishing well, it's usually around about $100 each or something like that as well.
Or
traditional.
Even, even more now.
Yeah.
with packages, with alcohol involved, sometimes you're looking at around $200 per person.
Sweet Mary. You don't have to give that.
No, you don't.
We're not saying you have to give that in the wishing well.
That's like a...
But that's another episode in itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guests etiquette. That's something we've seen a lot of things.
We definitely have to
There are
cover that
many,
one.
many stories. So what are the hot tips for budgets when it comes to weddings?
Well, I guess too, first and foremost, people should set a target price in their mind, because then the wedding's going to unfold, or
It will fit within that. Yep.
What do you think, Moise, what do you think matters most? What mattered most to you when you were...
So to me, it was the venue that was the most important. For some reason, I didn't give two hoots about the flowers, even though now... If I was to get married, well, obviously I could get married again to Paul, I would care more about the flowers than the venue. I don't know why. I just kind of like went with someone just down the road. I didn't even think anything about that. The dress was actually made for me. I didn't have to pay for that. But then, the venue, because it's what's going to be, and the photographer.
Okay,
actually, photographer was up there as well, because I wanted those memories to last forever.
Yes.
I wanted the bee's knees photographer and we still do have those photos around the house. We go through them with the boys, and the one that we chose, yes, he was very expensive, but he also captured the moments
Perfectly.
that we wanted. What was the most important for you?
Interestingly, they were different for both weddings.
Yep.
The first wedding, like you, I thought the venue and the videographer.
Wow.
Because we have this gorgeous video, which is now on VHS.
Yes.
And I can't watch at all.
And it is the first wedding, so you probably don't want to.
No, I don't want to. But the second wedding, it was actually the food.
Was it?
It was the food, because I think, when people go to weddings, they're going to remember what the bride looked like and what the food was like.
Yep.
That's
absolutely.
what I thought.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think the alcohol was another thing with us.
Definitely. Well, we are Australian.
Yeah, exactly. But we had the wedding package start before the wedding even began. So the drinks were already out for people at, say, 2:30 arrival time.
Yeah.
So that we were like, okay, because we know our friends and family, and it was, take the edge off as well.
Yes.
And then I think in the last episode we mentioned we had fireworks, which we also, so it was, I wouldn't say it was excessive.
Yeah.
We made a lot of our own stuff as well. We did a lot of, like, the table decorations. We handmade each one.
Yes.
Which was an incredibly great idea at the beginning.
But this is the thing too, you've got to then weigh out the cost of actually getting it versus the time, effort,
stress,
the resources
burns
that you've got to
on
buy.
your hands. Yeah.
And the resources that you have to buy to do the DIY.
Yeah, exactly.
So sometimes it's actually cheaper to get it all done.
Yeah.
And then less, like you say, less stress, no burn fingers.
Exactly. So what we had was the bonbonniere, or the place cards, were handmade dragonflies made out of wire that we then wrapped cling wrap around and melted with a hot glue gun so it looked like veins.
Oh, wow.
And then each of the dragonflies, the body, were different coloured beads, like the silver kind of beads with pearls.
Yeah. Shitballs, Batman.
And then we made a tree, and then we'd hang the name off the tree with the dragonfly. Beautiful.
Yeah, they
absolutely
would look
beautiful.
Stunning, yeah.
But I didn't want to see a dragonfly for a very long period of time after that, or a hot glue gun, considering how many times I burnt myself. It was a lovely experience doing them with Paul, but I've got a very not artsy crafty, well, I guess he is, artsy crafty husband. So he was happy to be part of that. Whereas I met a couple recently, they were making macrame key rings for each of their guests. And the husband was better at it than the wife, or the fiance and groom. And they also said, because they were looking at some macrame and said, I understand why that costs so much, because it's so fucking hard to do that we've now learnt that something as simple as macrame, they thought was going to be really simple, was doing their heads in. And then you don't want that as a memory of your wedding.
That's right.
Timu, mate. Timu.
Well, so the bonbonnieres for my first wedding were homemade chocolates.
Cute.
My mum made those,
Nice.
and we just had them in the standard little gauze.
Yeah, the
thingy.
gauze bag,
Yeah. I made my own placement cards, which was gorgeous because it was the one my mum and dad had for their wedding.
Beautiful.
And it was this gorgeous little 70s style dolls almost.
Wow.
And we made those. And then I made my own invitation. So cutting, remember those scissors that cut the little frilly edges?
Oh, my gosh.
So made everything. But then second time round, we bonbonnières were
Please tell me your stubby holder.
It was. With Brett's and mine face on it and our little message, thanks for coming. And it actually had Red Rock superimposed in the background because it's got gorgeous scenery.
Because that's where you got married the second time, yeah.
So, oh my God, give me the second time anytime.
All right, we'll take a quick little break now, but it's not all, scary news. There are things over the years that have actually become less expensive with development of technology and stuff like that. So we're going to touch on those.
And we'll go through some of the hidden charges that you may not have expected would come up in your wedding. Great to have My Jewellery Shop on board to sponsor us for our very first season of We Pronounce You Unfiltered.
Now, if you've heard about lab-grown diamonds, you might be thinking, what's the difference between lab-grown and mined diamonds? So pretty much you can go in there and have a chat to the team, figure out what is suitable for you. Aside from being man-made in a lab, using cutting-edge technology, lab-grown diamonds are visually, chemically and physically identical to a mined diamond.
Well, they're also eco-friendly.
Yes.
Ethically sourced and cost 30% less than mined diamonds.
Oh my gosh. Now you can discover the irresistible pool of created diamonds at My Jewellery Shop, the Gold Coast's only fully accredited jeweller offering certified sustainability rated diamonds.
At My Jewellery Shop, it's your time to shine. Celebrating 10 years at Nobby Beach, or you can find them at myjewelleryshop.com.au.
All loved up and ready to propose? Or maybe you're searching for the perfect wedding ring. My Jewellery Shop are your engagement and wedding ring experts. At My Jewellery Shop, it's your time to shine. Gold Coast Highway, Nobby Beach, and myjewelleryshop.com.au.
I do have to say, though, the price of stuff has gone down dramatically.
Yeah.
We got married 07, 08, 09. Those invitations that we would have done, now you could get done so much cheaper on places like Temu, or do them yourselves, that kind of stuff. So the price, you can find better ways to do it. It used to be, you have to get them printed, you'd have to get them done, all that kind of stuff. Even the postage. Now it's an email.
Yes.
That's all it is. So there are different ways in which.
Well, our second one, because it was so cash, the camping wedding, I literally did a Facebook invite.
That's hilarious. But this is the thing, it doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And it is what you make it or how you feel about it. And in fact, a wedding I did not so long ago was exactly the same. They just did a Facebook event and, because everyone's connected on socials these days. And if they're not, surely they've got an
When was
email.
the last time you got a letter? We got a wedding invite recently, hand delivered to the house.
Ooh.
I think they did it because they didn't know our address, and then to post, they'd run out of time to post it, so they just kind of dropped it over because it was just so much easier. But also, it saves the money on the postage as well.
Absolutely.
Be interesting if you are listening, what you think is the most important value-wise when it comes to a wedding.
Yeah.
You said food. I didn't even think about food. I thought fireworks. I didn't even care about the flowers. And
Definitely.
Photos.
I agree with photos because, like you say, they are a lasting memory.
Yeah.
So, but again, I didn't bother doing that for the second time. And my only regret, if any, well, there wasn't many. Like I said last time, I don't regret anything. I'd do it all again, but I would get a professional photographer.
Yep.
Because whilst I got 1,000 photos where everyone had, posted in the event and whatever, I got none with my family.
Oh, really?
So none of Brett and I and my mum and dad or my aunties and uncles. And so none of those real group family photos.
And that's what photographers are very herding cats.
Yes.
They're very good at organising that. And a lot of them will actually say to you as well, right, what's the list?
Yes.
Before the day, before the day, what's the list? Who do you want? Where do you want it? So that they can actually facilitate that. Because at that stage, as a bride and groom, you're probably standing there going, oh my God, this has just been such a huge moment.
Yeah.
I don't even know who you are, Auntie Agnes. So it is important that they can wrangle that.
Absolutely.
So certainly, setting the total first, prioritising what matters most. Oh God, there's so many little things though, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. Like even, things like pack down.
Yeah.
You know, you don't consider so for instance, my friend who got married on the weekend, they had a marquee. Someone's got to come and collect that, you know. I actually heard, I was listening, I can't even remember what I was listening to, and woman was saying that she was supposed to take back the cupcake holders.
Right.
But she was from interstate and she's going, well, I'm not taking them back. And so they had to then spend the money on the shipping to get this.
To send them back.
Yeah, to send it back.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes you really got to think, well, what are we doing? How is it going to impact even after the wedding?
But what are all the little tiny things as well? Like you said, you wouldn't even think about a pack down cost.
Meals for your vendors, for your photographers and your MC and people like that. That's a cost sometimes people go or overlook.
Yep. If you go overtime as well, if it runs late, that's actually going to cost you money.
Absolutely. You know, hair and makeup.
Of course.
And your, what are they? The trials. Thank you for that word.
Something as well, though, is the dress alterations. So you could buy your perfect dress that you think is, and we had it with our flower girls. We bought these two beautiful dresses, had to spend almost twice as much on the purchase of the dress and the alterations.
Yes.
Because they were way too big for the girls. You know, all those little tiny things. If, you know, obviously every bride likes to think she's on some kind of weight loss mission. And then
it's a nice thought, isn't it?
A nice thought. And then the dress gets bigger and bigger and bigger on you, and therefore you have to take it in and in. That can cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Absolutely. You know what, too? Cutting of the cake and corkage.
Yes. Who would have thought?
I know. Yep. Didn't you think it was in your package?
No. Definitely not.
It's not always.
Yep.
So these are things that you want to be asking your venues when you go there, if all these little things are included.
Of course, you transportation as well for the bridal party, for family, you know, and destination weddings are always interesting. I was talking to a grandma this week who her grandson's getting married in Fiji. And I said, she was buying a dress and she said, I think this is going to be perfect for it. It's in Fiji in October. I don't really have the budget at the moment because I'm saving to actually get there. I said, how much is the wedding going to cost? And she said $6,000 for her and her husband to go over there, flights, accommodation, everything else.
Yes.
A lot of people choose destination weddings so they will have smaller amounts of people because they know they can't afford it. But all that kind of stuff as well, all the destination.
Babysitting fees.
Yep.
So if you're going to Fiji and you're taking your kids, but the couple don't want kids at the wedding, you've then got to get a babysitter or a section place for the kids to be and entertain at the wedding.
Yep.
I remember at our camping wedding, we obviously, because it was a camping holiday, you know, everyone brought their children, and we had one of my friend's sisters come, and it was quite hilarious actually, because in the cold of night, she was sitting in the middle of about 10 tents,
where all the kids were asleep.
Where all the kids were asleep, just listening out for who might be making peeps and who she had to go and check on. So, yeah.
We even forgot about organising transportation to our honeymoon the next morning.
Oh, no.
So we checked out from the hotel in the morning. We were leaving that afternoon, and we'd forgotten to organise for someone to drive us to the airport. But it's all like the little tiny things that you forget about.
So
the honeymoon
excited.
extras, airport transfer, travel insurance, passport, all that kind of stuff as well. So, I mean, it is, you know, there's so many little tiny things that you don't realise is going to be part of that day. But once you set your budget, you can fit it all within.
And I think too, you need to be careful as well on minimum spends for some venues. I mean, if you've got beautiful venues that, you know, max out and have often have big weddings, but you love the venue, you really want to have it there. Sometimes you can spend as much as, you know, someone with 100 guests if you've only got 30 just because they have a
minimum spend. Yeah, definitely. Another thing as well is all the pre and post events. Of course, you usually have a hens.
Yes.
There's a bridal shower. And to be honest, it can get very expensive for your guests. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be the guy who's like, we're going to do like a 4-day hens party that's going to cost like $1,050. And you can't expect people to have that kind of money to be able to do that for you as well. Or I always think as a bride, you set it within an average budget to say, okay, we're going to go to this venue, we're going to go here, You know, I think back on ours, and I really don't think I thought about some of the events that I had. Like I think I had a bridal shower and then I had a hen's day then we met up with the Bucks as well. That's a lot of money when you think about it.
That's right.
And it's asking a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another thing as well with those pre-wedding events is a rehearsal.
Yes.
Do you have to pay for the rehearsal? Do you have to pay for the people to have access to the venue? Are you going to do a rehearsal dinner? All those kind of things that can add up. You don't have to have them.
No, that's right.
A rehearsal's good. As celebrants, we will tell you that's a great thing to do because we have seen a lot of people fall apart.
Yeah, well, true. But depending on the couple as well. You know, if you've got a high-strung couple, you're definitely recommending a rehearsal.
You want that definitely as well.
But also permits. You know, like people actually often don't realise that you have to get permits to get married in local parks, on the beaches. More often than not, they don't cost anything, but it will cost you if they turn up and you don't have a permit.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it's going to cost you big.
Transportation, another one as well. We have mentioned, of course, you know, everyone knows the saying that on a wedding, it will become more expensive than if it is just a normal day and you're getting a taxi or a limo. So that is something you've also got to think about as well.
Oh, I've got a story about that actually. With my first wedding, my ex-husband decided that he was just going to call a limo company on the day, you know, thinking, you know, it was all dressed up.
What you're going to do,
Yeah, I had beautiful cars take me. It was friends' cars, so it was great. Anyway, the limo company arrived at the house, and because all the boys are dressed in the same thing with their little, you know, what do they call corsage? He said, "Oh, is this for a wedding?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, I just need a lift down to the thing." He didn't want to take him. He said, "Well, you haven't paid for the wedding service." And he goes, "Mate, I don't really give a shit. I just need to get to the wedding." And he goes, "No, well, we usually detail the car better and put on whatever." So he ended up having to call a taxi, I think. I actually can't remember if he took him or they took him begrudgingly. But he refused to pay the extra because he was like, "Well, I don't really care about the ribbons and whatever else. No one's seeing me. No one's seeing me get out of the car. I just want to get there."
Another person I know as well, the company had said, "We'll take care of you." So they were friendly we'll take care of you. They were friends with the company who owned the cars. They thought it was going to be a sweet deal. They thought it was only going to be a couple of $100. Day before, phone call. All right, before we confirm that $600 for the transportation would be great.
Wow.
I don't know what part of "we will take care of you" is $600, but it is, you know, you've got to be clear. And we even got charged as well. They were trying to charge us to hang the decorations that we'd made. So we'd made other ones as well. In addition to the 1,000 dragonflies, we'd made beads and stuff to hang. They were trying to charge us to put it to the ceiling.
Yeah.
But then, at the like, of course, in that moment, you're going, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
Now looking back at it, some poor bastard had to get up and go and attach them to the ceiling.
Yeah.
That's not, you think it's, "Oh, no, that's fine. It's my venue. I can do." No, it doesn't work like that.
No, that's right. And other things too, like table runners, linen,
The bows on the back of your bloody chairs.
Yeah.
Each one of those costs money.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your napkins, everything like that. Anything that you've got on that table. And how many people have you seen steal shit from weddings?
Plenty.
There's an entire episode.
In fact, something was stolen on the weekend.
Did you steal it?
I didn't steal it, but I like what they stole.
They stole it from your friends who got married in their backyard?
Not in the backyard, from the venue.
Oh, no.
So you're right, it happens.
It does happen, and that costs the bride and groom money.
Yes. Yeah, well, if they find out, and it's
they find out where it went. Yes, exactly. So back to a couple of key points as well. Set your budget.
Yes.
Time versus money.
Yes.
What, you know, if you want to go and do your own stuff, is that going to be worth someone else doing it for you? Are you going to make your invitations with the crimping scissors, or are you going to get some, you know, Temu company to do it? The dresses, of course, wonderful that you can order them cheap from overseas if they're going to come and they're going to be completely different to what you wanted. Disappointment, and as well, all those little hidden extras. Make sure you read your contract when it comes to wedding venues, or the MC as well. Will the MC only MC for that period of time? Because there are some people who think, oh, well, okay,
they'll go over.
They'll go over.
It's going to only charge us that extra hour.
We'll get everything done by 10 o'clock.
Yeah. But even if it's like a set price, so they go, okay, my hourly rates, let's make it up $50.
Nice.
But then once they go, yes, you're kidding yourself. But if it goes over, they might go, well, actually the additional hour is now $100. And so you're not expecting that.
A lot of people as well, it's after a certain time. So say they've emceed your wedding from 5 till 10 and then they say, oh, look, no one's, we've taken longer with this or there was wet weather or whatever. At around 10 o'clock, that usually is the cutoff where that price doubles.
Yes.
So you would be up to, and that you may not be aware of that.
Yes.
So it's good to get the MC. If you are paying someone who isn't part of the family or the friend, get all that stuff done and get it over and done with quickly.
Yeah.
Receptions, that's another whole episode as well.
Yes.
I think we've covered a lot. Also streaming and tech stuff.
Yes.
So if you want to have those fireworks, you want to have that fantastic entrance where there's smoke machines and everything else, that's all going to cost you extra money.
And I think COVID has changed that a lot now too.
Yeah.
You know, people actually, even though no one has to isolate anymore, thank goodness, people do still live stream for those who can't make it, who are overseas, interstate.
Unwell.
Unwell, and they don't want to miss out. So those streaming things, I think, like I find it more often. I don't know, what about you? Do you find most weddings still
I've never had a streaming in any of the weddings that I've done. I mean, they may have. I wouldn't know if it was happening or not. Actually, I'd probably prefer not to know it was happening.
Yeah, true.
Because then I'd probably look down the barrel of the camera a bit and give them a wink and be like, oh, I'm sweating my balls up. But yeah, so there you go, a little bit of budget. Any questions, any comments, let us know. Once again, like we mentioned earlier, what did you think for your wedding or what do you think for your upcoming wedding is the most valuable item or thing? Is it the photography, the food, the flowers, the dress, the videographer, anything like that? So we'd love to hear from you.
And you know what? Don't be afraid to negotiate. Don't be afraid to ask, because if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yep.
So sometimes, you might be able to say, well, off-peak rates, as we know, there's more and more weddings that are like midweek as opposed to on the weekend.
So much cheaper.
And it is so much cheaper. Don't be afraid to ask the question.
At the end of the day, it's your special day. You want to make it wonderful. It doesn't need to be as stressful and financially stressful as well.
Yes.
But another interesting thing that you found out this week as well is that there are companies that will do wedding loans.
Yes, I did. And I had no idea that you could
even do that.
No. But obviously with the strenuous, $50,000,
$35,000, $40,000.
which is a lot of money to try and pull out for a wedding. There are places. So,
look into it.
Yeah, definitely.
There may be, in 10 years' time at your 20th anniversary or 30 years anniversary, you realise you've paid off your wedding. What a beautiful moment. Cheers. We're out of debt. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for our fabulous podcast this week. Of course, talking all things budget. Once again, leave a review. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your comments as well. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you, Moisey.
All loved up and ready to propose? Or maybe you're searching for the perfect wedding ring. My Jewellery Shop are your engagement and wedding ring experts. At My Jewellery Shop, it's your time to shine. Gold Coast Highway, Nobby Beach, and myjewelleryshop.com.au.
Woodwork Podcasts.